Now to a U.S. Supreme Court case that could impact the number of congressional seats in some states.
The justices are hearing arguments on the president's July memorandum, which aimed to remove millions of undocumented immigrants from the U.S. Census. It comes with census deadlines getting close and as President Trump's days in office are now numbered. NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil live for us in the nation's capital with more. Joe.
Yeah, Rob, a lot of people may not even realize, but when we do our census every 10 years, for each state's population, everyone is counted. Whether you're undocumented, you're here illegally, on a visa, doesn't matter. Everyone gets counted, and states with the higher populations get more representatives here in Congress. Well, for that reason, the Trump administration is challenging that. They want to change it, and even with a 6-3 conservative majority, it may have been a little bit harder for them than they expected to make their arguments before the Supreme Court today. The Supreme Court heard arguments Monday on whether undocumented people should count when it comes to representation in Congress.
Treating someone apprehended at the border as a usual or settled resident of the United States flies in the face of any sound theory of political representation.
U.S. Solicitor General Jeffrey Wall defended President Trump's request to discount people living in the U.S. illegally when Congress decides how many representatives each state sends to Washington.
The president has at least some discretion to determine that at least some illegal aliens lack enduring ties to the states.
But the High Court, including conservative-leaning justices Alito and Barrett, seem to take issue with that argument.
A lot of the historical evidence and the longstanding practice really cuts against your position.
Justice Amy Coney Barrett says the Constitution demands all whole persons be counted and doesn't differentiate based on legal status. The court also questioned whether the Trump administration considers all undocumented people the same.
There are 700,000 DACA recipients. Will the Bureau be able to report on those?
We can't be certain at this point, and we don't know what the president will decide to do with respect to that set.
In July, the president directed the Commerce Department, which runs the census, not to count, quote, illegal aliens for representation in Congress. He argued it incentivizes illegal immigration and benefits states like California with larger undocumented populations.
If you include people here illegally and give states like California and New York representation at the expense of other states like Michigan or Utah, are you really fulfilling the founder's dream of government by consent?
Dan Stein is president of the Federation for American Immigration Reform. The group's mission is to reduce immigration into the U.S. He says the case should come down to who has the authority to say who counts.
New York is saying we want to make that call. President Trump is saying, no, we want to make that call.
Dale Ho, director of the ACLU's Voting Rights Project, says the Trump administration's policy violates federal law.
Is it legal or not? And the answer is no, because throughout American history, everyone who lives here has been counted.
Now, Chief Justice John Roberts, who has become the de facto moderate sort of swing vote on the court, he went pretty hard at New York's Solicitor General as well today. We should also mention that if this decision is going to have any impact on the 2020 census, it's going to have to be ruled before December 31st. That is the cutoff deadline for all states to input their census data. Reporting live tonight, the Supreme Court, Joe Khalil, NewsNation.